Alright, you guys, welcome back to another haircut tutorial. This your boy Killer Khan Chung, straight from Concept Barbershop, San Jose, California. Today we're going to do a taper fade based on request, 7 on top. The client asked for a number 2 on the side. Normally I would do about a 1 or 1.5 because I believe 1.5 is lighter. It makes the blending, the tapers stand out even better, but he asked for a 2, so we're going to do with a 2. You saw that I saw the outline from the other side, and now I'm starting the outline from the right side, and then I'm going to meet it in the middle. Alright, and then you take everything out, of course. Makes sense to do so. So take everything off with the number 2, and after that you start fading up. Alright, start fading up. And then you work one notch at a time. Every notch is about 1/4 of an inch. Watch out for the ears, so you hold the ears down. Alright, you work one side and then you work all the way to the other side. And once you do, you move up the notch. One notch at a time. It's not rocket science. It should make sense. You should be able to figure that out. Alright, so we working up until we work out all the way through. Alright, and that's how they look all the way through. And don't worry about it because it's a rough draft. You do cuts in 2 drafts, rough draft, final draft, and at the end we'll take care of it. Next, I'm going to start off with the taper on the neck. Usually I start my taper with the roundish upside down U shape. Reason is you want to keep the line on the outer edge up by the neck darker, so when you line it up it looks better. It makes the fade, the taper pop out even more. Alright, the U shape. And after you set your U shape, you blend up every notch about 1/4 of an inch up, and you follow that U shape pattern, that U shape form. Alright, you keep working up until you're fully open. Alright, one notch at a time till you're fully open. Alright, you work that up a little bit at a time, and of course you go back and you touch up if you need so. And now I'm at the half guard, or the 0 guard, or the 1/16 guard, whatever you want to call it. You work that all the way open, and if you flick it right, it should blend into the 2. If you flick it right. If you can't flick it right, then you'll have to use the 1. So after I flicked it right with the 0 guard, I'm going back with my shaver Norelcos, and I'm balding out again in the U shape, and then I'm blending that out because that's what makes your taper pop. Some people would ask why not do that in the beginning, but because the reason why I don't do that in the beginning is because you don't know what you're working with. Taper it out first and then fade within the taper. Now you know what you're working with. So after you hit the neck taper, you do the side taper. I fade from the corner line down to about the ear right there, you know, at a diagonal, because that's the direction I'm going to be fading in. You know, the more you clean off the hair, the more you shave off the hair, the cleaner your cuts will look. Alright? You can leave the little stubs if you want, but shave it off, it'll look better. And like the neck taper, you blend in a U kind of shape, but because the shape of his side is wide, it's not much of a U. It's more of a curve, you know? And again, it's the same thing. You work from the no guards into the half guard, and you slowly open one notch at a time, and every notch is about 1/4 of an inch. Alright? Until you work all that out. Next, I'm using the 1 guard, and I'm doing the same thing, the same method. One notch at a time, 1/4 of an inch up, and you slowly flick. Alright, now after I'm done with that, I'm using the comb. Alright, you just tilt the comb at a slight angle and you blend it out until it's smooth, you know, to your liking. You know, if you like a darker blend, then go ahead. You know, I like my likings like this, so I'm gonna keep it like that. And of course, on the other side, you repeat the method, same steps, same pattern, but for the sake of time in this tutorial, I won't do the full thing, but you know that it's the same routine, same step. Alright, And now we're into the lineup. Again, I keep stressing, you gotta face to face with the client. And you pick a side that's higher and you go towards that side. In this case, the right side is a little higher than the left side, so I'm gonna go towards the right. But before I go towards the right, I start in the middle because that's the starting point, and you work to the highest side. Alright? And you face them so that you see what direction you're going into, you know? Alright, and after that, you see how my hand is tilted and how I'm holding the tool to line up the side. Okay? Alright, and after that, you do the line behind the ear, which is I think is very important to get this part right, because that's what makes everything pops out. And I set my starting point usually is above the ear. The highest point, which is usually above the ear, I work it out and then I work it down the neck. Alright? And there it is. That's the lineup. And you do the same thing on the other side. Again, you will see that I start right back in the middle, because the middle is the starting point and I'm facing face to face with him, because that's what he's seeing when he looks in the mirror. You know, so start in the middle, work it out, and do the same thing on this side. Set your guideline right above the ear, the highest point, stretch it out, and stretch it down to the neck. Right now, this, in my opinion, is the most important part to this whole tutorial video. It's all about the extra effort. After I line them up, now I'm going back to clean up all the loose hair. And if you pay close attention, you'll see that I'm not really even touching the lineup, because the lineup's already set. What I'm touching is the hair above the line. I did take his hair down to a number 7. So you know that he's going to have longer hair sticking out. So if you watch how I'm angling it, I'm not really taking the hair at the lineup. I'm taking the hair above the lineup. Alright, I'm taking the hair above the lineup down to the lineup. I'm not touching the lineup. I'm just bringing everything level with the lineup. Alright, and that's what's going to make your lineup pop. Alright, you see that? Alright, now the same thing. It's all about putting in the extra work and extra detail. Right now I'm combing the crown of his hair, because that's sometimes, a lot of times, the hair on the crown is laying down so it looks right, but after they pull out the shower, this is what they're going to see. They're going to see hair sticking outside of the crown of the hair on both sides. And that's what you want to do. That's what separates a good barber from a great barber. Putting in the work and putting in the extra detail work. Alright, now I'm just freehanding it. This is the backhand freehand to knock out and to clean up and chop up all the extra hair that's sticking on the side of the crown of the head. Alright, we don't see it, but once they step out of the shower, they're going to see all of that. And this is what separates you from another barber. Alright, you got to put in the extra work. So when you comb out the hair, freehanded, you got to face them at an angle so you can see the hair sticking out. Alright, you see that? And all the way to the back of their head. I do that all the way around to the crown of the head. Alright, I do that on one side, and then I go ahead and I do it to the other side. Alright, and this is what will separate you from the other barber. This is what will keep your client keeps coming back, keep putting money in your pocket. The extra detail, the extra work, trust. Alright, when you line them up with a straight razor, you want to stretch that skin real tight, and you want to do small little strokes. Quick, sharp, small little strokes. You do long strokes, you're going to cut them. I guarantee it. I promise you. Little strokes. Alright? And that's the side right there. And then the most important razor, again, is the lineup behind the ear. This is what's going to make your taper fade pop and your taper fade on the neck pop. Alright, this is very crucial, but it's very important that you take your time and you be very careful, because a lot of time you're just using the corner of the razor, which can cut them. So be careful with that. Alright, and here's the finished result. Earlier, you guys must have thought that I took it a little bit too high, you know, but it makes it look better. It makes it look clean. Alright, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Tune in next time for another tutorial. Trust me, I'm sharing with you guys all of my secrets, everything that I've learned throughout the years. Love.